Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Elven Dragon, here in Feed the Beast Guys 2 on Shadowlands SMP. So last episode we went and messed around with Malum a little bit, got some ether that we need to build our end portal frames, got all 12 of those, got ourselves a bunch of Eyes of Ender, filled in the frame, and opened up our end portal. And since then, I've just been working on gathering a few things that we are going to need to take on the dragon and just do some general stuff in the end. So we have some bottles, we have a deep mob learner with a model framework so we can get a data module of the Ender Dragon. We have some bee cages so we can capture any bees that we find out there in case we just have a normal end. We have a Prudentium sword, we've got an Prudentium Bow of Wounding, which has Unbreaking 3, inflicts grievous wounds on arrow hit, has Endless Quiver, so we'll never run out of arrows. Our sword here has Sharpness and Mystical Enlightenment, so we'll get some Cognizant Dust when we kill the dragon, which will let us get some Awakened Supremium eventually. We're apparently going to get either a Loot Llama or a Crazy Goat. We got a llama. And we have an Endstone Nest and Obsidian Nest to get the two bees that we definitely need out there. The Endstone Nest is just in case we don't have a normal end and we don't have wild bees. And the Obsidian Nest is to attract our Draconic bee, for which we need Dragon's Breath. And just in case we need more of it, that's what I have the Dale module for, because we'll be able to use that to get more Dragon's Breath from Dragon Predictions. So, I think with that, it's time we jump in. Okay, this appears to be a shared end. Oh, lovely. Well, it's kind of anticlimactic. Guess we're not fighting the dragon today. There goes about half my plans. But I guess this is nice. It looks like all of the portals are open, so we can easily just go out and explore there. We have an easier source of ender pearls for whenever we need ender pearls, so that'll be nice. And if we really want to fight the dragon, we can always just make some end crystals. So let's go check some of these, see what we have out in the outer end. I'm sure one of these probably has a trap door on it so we can more easily crawl through it. Alright, there we go, there's one. So let's go through here and see what we have out in the outer end, which appears to be nothing. Except rogue end ships. Well, that's certainly interesting. Guess we can get an Elytra. Not that we really need it since we have the jetpack. But with no dragon, that means that we're going to have to go ahead and find another way of getting Dragon's Breath. So I'm sure there's either some in a chest somewhere for loot, or we're sure there's probably got to be another way of crafting it other than just fighting the dragon. So it looks like if we can get a dragon head, we can get some of that. That's the main thing that we need it for. Willing to bet this one's gone. Yep. Alright. Well, I guess we're going off to go find a new end ship. Alright, so we appear to have found an end ship that hasn't been looted yet. So we can go ahead and attack our shulkers here. Hoping that we could get the Ender Dragon module, but oh well. We'll be fine without it. It's not like we're gonna really need it if we can get that one dragon head, which, since this is a unlooted end ship, that means that we should be able to get one. I've just been storing all of our loot in here. We ended up finding another boss structure, so we'll have to go and check that out at some point. It looks like there's a boss respawner in it, so we can go and get back there at some point and fight. I think it's the end golem. But we got some elytra here. We really need it. Where is this shulker? Oh, there he is. And we definitely have a dragon head. So we'll be able to get our Dragon's Breath from that. I believe we should be able to get some chorus from that, although there is another way we can get chorus, and that is with a possessed shulker. So we'll probably go with that, mostly because the other option involves going into create, and I don't particularly want to do that right now, or ever if we can get away with it, but I'm sure there's probably going to be something that's going to require us to go into it. But we shouldn't have to worry about that for a while. for now, collecting up this dragon head here should get us just about everything we need for the end. So, dragon head collected, let's head on back to base. Alright, so we've gone and gathered everything we need for this extractor here, except for the aluminum. Because apparently we don't have aluminum yet. Fortunately, it's not going to be too bad to get some. And we also managed to get some chorus fruit. I don't know how we got chorus fruit, but we managed to get 2 pieces of chorus fruit, so we now have a popped chorus fruit, so we can extract an ender bee. So, we can go and put that in, but first, I want to get this extractor. Now, the way that we can get aluminum is we can throw iron and this cognitive flux into molten ender, get aluminum. Get the molten ender, we need to melt a bunch of ender pearls into molten ender. It gets 4 for 100 milliliters. Has to be on a soul campfire so it's superheated. And this is going to take a little while. But once we get that, we'll be able to get the extractor. We could even set up an aluminum bee if we really wanted to. But probably not right now. I don't want to have too many hives running until we actually can get simulation upgrades on them, because then we won't have to put glass around them. So we're going to stay here and get our whole bucket so we can get our aluminum. And then we'll be back. Alright, so we have our molten ender. We'll have to build an area for fluid transformations at some point. But for now, we're just going to place it down there. Toss our 2 items in there. And apparently have them not stay in. I forgot, I can't have my magnet on for this. Alright, there we go. 1 block of aluminum that we can then break down into ingots. And we'll have to turn this into a new little area at some point. So, there we go. Set of fluid plorts, 1 extractor. Now we can go ahead and stick that on our dragon head. Extract some dragon's breath. If I can actually place it correctly. And with the chest on top of that, we should get dragon's breath in there. And there we go. Now we can go ahead and get ourselves a Draconic bee and our other bee. So, there we go. There's those in place. Looks like there's a few over here. I definitely want to get my own start. But it looks like there's a centrifuge there. We can go and get a little bit, I guess. Just enough to get started. We need a dragon's egg. So if we get a inactive dragon's egg, we should be able to turn that into a regular dragon's egg, which means we'll be able to get more of our bees in the overworld. But for that, we need a bunch more draconic chunks, which is going to take quite a while. But first things first, we need our bees. So I'm going to go wait for those bees. Hopefully we can get enough draconic chunks that we can get more of these guys in the overworld and speed these up. Never tried that. And then I'll be right back. Alright, so we have our draconic bee. It's a little angry right now, probably because it's not in the end and doesn't have anything to pollinate. But hopefully we can fix that very quickly. So we have draconic dust, we have an inactive dragon egg, which I'm going to stick on there. And I believe if we do that, there we go, 1 dragon egg. Now we can just go ahead and drop that on there. Pick that up. Grab our draconic bee so it doesn't attack us. And hope that that works. Possibly not. It still kind of looks pretty angry to me. But we'll find out if it goes into its hive. And hopefully we can start getting more draconic dust. I do want to get 4 more of these guys. And hopefully we can do that. We are going to want to get some simulated hive upgrades. Got that marked here. But that's going to take ender pearls and blaze rods. Part of why we want the draconic dust is we can then use the chunks to make our block upgrades, which will massively improve our little honeycomb-based resource production factory here. We'll also be able to upgrade our centrifuge so we can actually process whole comb blocks at a time. But for that, we're just going to have to wait a little bit. for our Draconic beehive to produce enough resources. Looks like it will calm down after a while if we're not anywhere near the hive. So I'm going to go get the other 4 bees that I want in there. Try and get that thing on a simulator upgrade. Hopefully we can. I don't know if we have enough blaze rods to do that. Although we should, in theory, be able to get ourselves this heated centrifuge now. So we'll need another inactive dragon egg. And speed upgrades. Well, that's going to take a while anyway. So, get the rest of the bees. Hopefully get some more of our little blaze rods. And then I guess, then I'll be back. Alright, so quick trip over to the Bastion later. And we now have enough of our blaze rods that we got our simulator upgrade. So now, these 5 little bees should just stay in their hive. We don't have to worry about them getting angry at us because we walk by. We could probably take out the glass. And we just now have to wait for them to finish getting enough of our draconic dust in order to get the secondary inactive dragon egg. So, that means I have a lot of centrifuging to do. And fortunately, we've got a few other side projects to work on. Been doing a little bit of work in the autism section, got a few more chalk peddlers. Ended up trying to get the red chalk, or at least the stuff to get the red chalk, because that spawns blazes. So I figured we might be able to get a few blazes that way, get some blaze rods that way. Unfortunately, that didn't get us enough. So we now have enough blaze rods to get us a second simulator upgrade. But once we actually get that inactive dragon egg, we'll be able to centrifuge whole comb blocks instead of just combs. And that'll get us blaze rods instead of blaze powder, allowing us to get more simulator upgrades. We'll also be able to get more draconic chunks and go from there. Looks like that's going to require some nether stars. Fun. But for now, I think that is probably going to be about it for today. We got what we wanted out of the end. We got our bees. We got some chorus fruit somehow. I need to figure out how we got more of that. Because then we can get some warper source links and just teleport source all over the island. And although we didn't get to kill the dragon, we did manage to get a dragon head and get dragon's breath for all the things that we need that for. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more what is going on this island and in the rest of this world. If you want to see more of what is going on this island, and I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.